Today's notes are on distributing fractions and simplifying expressions. Distributing is just when we're multiplying by a sum or difference, like 2 times some number and 4 is really 2 times some number and 2 times 4. It's multiplied by each thing individually. That gives me the same thing as multiplying by that original sum. We're going to be doing that with fractions, which you guys recognize. And then after we distribute with fractions, we're going to then be simplifying expressions. So instead of a really drawn out long expression, we simplify them by combining our like terms and getting a shorter expression that's a little easier to plug things into later. Our first example is focusing on that fraction distribution. If I'm trying to find 3/4 of 8x and 3/4 of 12, I multiply 3/4 times 8/1x and then 3/4 times 12/1. 3/4 of 8 is 24/4 of x, subtracted by 3/4 of 12 is 36/4. That gives me 6x minus 9. I want to show you the shortcut way so that you don't have to show that fraction multiplication each time. When you're thinking about finding a fourth of something, like a fourth of 8, I'm thinking to myself 8 divided by 4, and that gives me 2. So if I need 3/4 of 8, then that's that 1/4 of 8 multiplied by 3, which is 6. So if I treat that the same way with my distributing, I have 3/4 of 8x minus 12. So 1/4 of 8 is 2, times 3 is 6x. And 1/4 of 12 is 3, times 3 is 9. It makes it a little bit simpler. We're going to do the same thing for part B. I'm going to show you the long way first, and then I'm going to show you the thought process in shortcut mental math way. 2/3 of 3x is 2/3 multiplied by 3/1x, and then I have 2/3 of 9. 2/3 times 9/1. 2/3 of 3x is 6/3x. And then 2/3 of 9 is 18/3. That gives me 2x and 6 for my final answer. If we're going to do it the mental math way of 2/3 of 3x and 9, I think to myself, what's 1/3 of 3x? That would be 1x times 2 is 2x. Then I think to myself, what's 1/3 of 9? A third of 9 is 3, times 2 is 6. When you're solving these distributing fraction problems, you can either show your work the long way or you can use your mental math. For example 2, we don't have any fractions, but we do need to distribute and then simplify. I start with a number that gets distributed. Remember, we distribute the whole number, including the sign that's in front of it. The -9 is not being used, and the minus 10x is not being used. But when I distribute that positive 3 times 2x, that gives me positive 6x. And then I have positive 3 times a negative 4 gives me negative 12. When I go to simplify it, I combine my x's together. Positive 6 and negative 10 give me negative 4x. And then I combine my constants, my numbers without variables. Negative 9 and negative 12, the signs are the same, so I add them and get negative 21. So my final answer is negative 4x minus 21. Let's try another one where we are distributing, then simplifying. When we distribute the whole number, including the sign in front of it. The negative 4 gets multiplied by 2m to give me negative 8m, because a negative multiplied by a positive is a negative. Then the negative 4 gets multiplied by the positive 4, giving me negative 16. I bring down all the numbers I'm not using, the negative 2m and the positive 10m. Now I'm going to be combining my like terms. I combine all my m's, a negative 2m, a negative 8m, and a positive 10m. Negative 2 and negative 8 give me negative 10m. But then when I combine that with that positive 10m, that gives me 0m's minus 16. Well, if I have 0 times anything, it doesn't matter what that number is. It just gives me 0, giving me negative 16 for my final answer. Now it's time for you to try a problem. Pause the video, try it on your own, and then play to check your answer. Ready? We're following the distribute first and then simplify second. When I distribute the whole number, including the sign in front of it. The negative 4 times 2r gives me negative 8r. Then I have negative 4 times a negative 1, giving me positive 4. I bring down the numbers I haven't used, the negative r and the positive 3r. I'm now going to combine my like terms. Negative r and negative 8r give me negative 9r, because when I don't have a number in front of a variable, it means that there is one of them. So negative r is actually negative 1r. So when I had that negative 1r and negative 8r, I'm taking 1 away and taking 8 away, giving me minus 9r altogether. But then you'll notice we also have a positive 3r that we need to account for. I almost said it was a v because of my handwriting. If I have 9 negatives and 3 positives, since the signs are different, I subtract and keep the sign in front of the number, giving me negative 6r and 4 for my final answer.